Right, are we actually live this time? Because every time I start a stream, something gets cocked up. Give me a second, hang on. There, I think it should be working now, I think. Yeah, I'm on the right mic. Cool. It's been a fucking while since I have used this laptop, but we are live. And we're live for a bit of a double stream because this was originally meant to be a Brentford against Arsenal look ahead. However, some nice little content dropped on the overlap today about Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham, and it was a very good listen. It was a very, very good listen to. I listened to it in the car on the way back from work, and there was a lot of eye-opening things that, to be fair, we knew quite a bit already. We knew quite a bit when it came to sort of Ange and Tottenham, what sort of went wrong. But listen, before we do that, the team lineups have been announced. So we're gonna have a look at them. Because it's going to be a tough game as well. It's going to be an exciting, high-scoring game, like I said on the preview. So I'm gonna zoom that page out a bit more so I can get the whole team in. Right, let me zoom it in a bit more. We'll focus on Brentford first. They are the home team. If I share my screen, you can see the team, the starting 11. Right, okay. So that's the team that Brentford have gone with. Kelleher in goal, Coyote, his long throwers are going to be dangerous. Ayer, Vandenberg, Henry, Yarmolik, Janel, Ouattara, Jensen, Potter, and Thiago. Ouattara and Thiago, and to be fair, even Jensen, he's actually a half decent player. They're definitely players who can hurt us if we're not careful. And this game is going to be very, very physical. Look, listen, I'm not sure about Brentford's. I'm not really sure about Brentford's form as of late. Let's have a look. We're going to partial results. Yeah, of course they beat Newcastle, beat Aston Villa, beat Forest. They lost to Chelsea, beat Sunderland, beat Everton, won their game in the FA Cup, smoked Bournemouth, beat Wolves. You know what? They're on a decent run of form. I didn't actually think it was that. I didn't actually think it was that like crazy they're on a form, but they've only really lost a game against Chelsea, dropped points against Tottenham. I think that was a boring game. I'm pretty sure I did watch that. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Even tougher now seems like that I've seen their form. But listen, we've got to look at the Arsenal 11 as well. And yeah, so we've got David Raya in goal. That was pretty much expected. No Saliba, but he is not on the bench. Did Saliba get an injury? Because what was it? Our last game was Sunderland. I can't remember if he did. I think he didn't. No, he did play against Sunderland, but I don't think he was that good in that game. So I think he must just have an injury. Surely, I'm not really seeing what has happened. Like, if anyone in the chat can let me know what happened to Saliba, or I can try to find it on Twitter. But yeah, anyway, Mosquera's in ahead of him, Timber and Nkapie. I thought Ricardo Calafiori probably start, but he's only come back recently, so I doubt he would. The normal midfield that we probably would have expected, because I just found out yesterday as well, Havertz has been sidelined, which is unfortunate as well, because he was actually helping out Victor Gyökeres quite a lot. And speaking of Victor Gyökeres, he starts along with Trossard and Madueke. Madueke starting, I'm not too sure about that, if I'm being real. I would have rather started Bukayo Saka. But to be fair, Noni did play well against what do you call it, against Sunderland. However, can he keep it up? Can he actually no, not against Sunderland. What am I about? Not against Sunderland. Who was it he played? Leeds, that's it. It was Leeds. Yeah, I didn't really see too much of the Sunderland game. He did play well against Leeds. I'm not sure how he played against Sunderland. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because I'm not too sure why Saka's not playing, because Saka is his guy. Our game, to be fair, we got an FA Cup game, which you thought Noddy probably would have played that. And then I think we've got Wolves after that. Then we've got Tottenham, I believe. Whether they have a new manager in by then, I don't know. So, yeah, but listen, it's near enough the team. It's a team that should beat Brentford. Like I did say, it will be a tough game. Obviously, Gyökeres is in a bit of form at the minute. So, and even though to me, if they have that same playing, how will that affect it? Because obviously, Eze is playing. I'd rather Eze play over Odegaard. I'm pretty sure Odegaard is back in the squad, isn't he? Yeah, he is back. And he isn't. Yeah, Odegaard is in the squad. He's not injured or anything. To be fair, our bench is actually all right. We can bring on Saka. Jesus can come on the bag if he needs to. Martinelli's always, against tired legs coming off the bench. Obviously, Norgard's back at his old ground where he captained the side. And then you've got obviously Lewis Skelly, who hasn't really been getting too many games recently. But apart from that, it's a team that should beat Brentford. I'm not looking at their bench and thinking, right, this player's that can hurt us. Really, they've obviously got Thiago, who he's starting, and he is obviously his goal record this season is crazy. Where he is in the sort of top goal scorers, I'm not actually quite sure. But listen, with our defence, I do back us to keep a clean sheet. I did say 2-0 in my preview earlier on YouTube Shorts, or earlier yesterday on YouTube Shorts. So if you haven't actually checked it out, go and give that a little watch. But yeah, there was, apart from this game, I think we're the only team we played tonight, I believe. Because if we go, I think there's been quite a few. There was a crazy result the other night, weren't there? Oh, what's happening there? Right, make sure my things on Do Not Disturb. That's all right. Premier League. Look, there has been some crazy results. So obviously Sunderland lost their first home game of the season. I watched a bit of that. Man City, Fulham, we kind of knew what was going to happen. Fulham weren't really going to offer a threat. They actually had anyway, like they'd done back at Craven Cottage. This was a shock result. I saw Palace were 2-0 up, and then obviously they just brought Jurgen Strand Larsen in recently, and he thought, I thought he's going to probably score a hat trick or something. But listen, Burnley pulled something out of the bag, and look, Crystal Palace, I don't know where they are on the table, but I think since the sort of Glasner news kind of dropped, they've been in all sorts of problems. And yeah, what other results have we got? I didn't really see. You've got Villa, Brighton, own goal towards the end. That is rough. Forest Wolves. I think Sean Dyche got sacked off this as well. Yeah, because Sean Dyche got sacked. I think the news broke this morning. Do you know what? This season's been crazy for sacking managers as well. So obviously you got, what's his name? Dyche got sacked. Thomas Frank got sacked yesterday. Ammer has been sacked this season. Maresca's been sacked this season. Quite a few managers have gone. It's wild. Yeah, what else you got? Obviously, Graham Potter got sacked this season as well. Speaking of West Ham, and then I think we kind of knew the reaction that a lot of United fans were going to have, especially with the guy getting his haircut, because I was hoping West Ham would go and win, and the reason I'm saying that is because they would have put pressure on Tottenham, and look, Tottenham getting relegated this season, it's a possibility. Do I think it will happen? No, I don't. But at the same time, that would be fucking great if it was to happen as well. Like, yeah, Sesko got an equaliser last week. I did watch. That was a good goal as well from Sesko. Who else? Yeah, apart from obviously, yeah, Tottenham lost. Shock. Chelsea, mate, honestly, there's a couple of talking points that came out of this game. I think the fact that they drew with Leeds, Chelsea were 2-0 up, and all of a sudden, Chelsea just forget how to defend. Honestly, their defense is awful, man. Even for that second goal, you could have said it was a handball. They put it down as an accidental handball in the end. To me, I don't know what is a handball now and what isn't. However, that defending for that second goal was awful. And Cole Palmer at the end, oh my god. Oh, hang on. Wait, hold on a minute. There we are. Okay, but yeah, Cole Palmer for that second goal. No, that goal to make it 3-2, sorry. I think 99 times out of 100 he scores that goal, but honestly, I think everyone was shocked how he didn't bag that, and that was crazy, honestly. Yeah, apart from that, it's about it. Yeah, because Tottenham lost, and yeah, obviously we're the last game, so we better fucking win. Speaking of that as well, yeah, our game against Wolves got moved to next week, Wednesday. And I think that is so we got Wigan on Sunday, then Wolves away 3 days later, and then we got Tottenham, and then there's a 1 break that might be. Oh yeah, because there's only 28 days of February. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so there might be Champions League playoffs potentially that midweek. Obviously, we're not participating in that because we qualified already, which is a good thing. And then yeah, we've got obviously Brighton away, Everton at home, then the cup final against Man City. That's the big one we're looking forward to. And to be fair, we've got Man City again not long after, and we can play them in the Champions League. There will be a sandwich around here somewhere, but yeah, I kind of wanted to talk on the Ange appearance in on the overlap earlier. I listened to it in the car, and the stuff he was saying about Tottenham, he was saying it like, almost unfiltered in a way. If you guys didn't know, Ange went onto the overlap, the show with like Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Jill Scott, Wrighty, Carragher, when they sit down and talk about football. I know they've done an episode with Ange Postecoglou. Apparently they were meant to do it next week, but obviously because of what's happened, they've done it this week, and they got the timing right 100%. And one thing I'll say is that, listen, Ange was spitting facts, honestly. He said it in a way that you don't want to hear it, but it's stuff that we kind of already know, but the facts that it was coming from him, someone who works inside Tottenham, he was calling Tottenham Spursy pretty much. That is the most damning thing of it all. He was talking about his relationship with Daniel Levy, that sort of season where he lost Harry Kane, the season that obviously they won the Europa League. He was talking about what was sort of going through the squad, what was going through his mind in terms of, prioritizing the Europa League, prioritizing winning a trophy. And it was actually pretty eye-opening. I get you sort of hear these things within football about, certain relationships, like with owner and manager. But the fact that we're hearing all this from him himself, and with Ange Postecoglou, he's a very likable character. That's what I will say. Although he did manage Tottenham, I like Ange as a manager. Yes, I think his football is suicidal at times. However, he gets you goals, and goals win you games. And to be fair, he even mentioned a thing as well. He was scoring goals with Tottenham. That attack he was getting goals out of. However, the thing is that, obviously it didn't really work out with him. He said he sort of knew that back in January that season. He knew he was going, which obviously he obviously went in the end because they ended up sacking him. But he would have gone even if he because he got no say in transfers. Apparently, that was crazy. But the one thing that really stuck out to me was when he was talking about the environment in Tottenham, saying that there was no ambition to win. It's almost like they were scared of winning, and he had to instill that mentality in them in the first place, which I found crazy. not crazy as in like shockingly, but the fact that he instilled this mentality into Tottenham. And then if you look back at it now, they've gone the most complete opposite direction. Yes, they finished 17th. However, they weren't in any fear of getting relegated. You can tell they were prioritising the Europa League. But yeah, listen, it's a crazy, and it's actually, if anyone comes across that, I recommend going and watching that as well. Yeah, it was interesting to hear about what Ange had to say, literally calling Spurs Spursy himself, saying that they got no ambition, pretty much cussing out the ownership. Now they were talking about because Vinay went to Tottenham, didn't he? The ex-Arsenal CEO, and it's almost like he was mentioning about the work that he built up in terms of that winning culture, and it's been stripped down again. And he's obviously they've gone and he talks about their approach in management as well, because they went from Pochettino, who brought them attacking good football, to go to a serial winner, but sort of by any means necessary. They had two of them, went back to Ange for the football purpose, and then gone back to Thomas Frank. And he sort of alluded to the fact that they got no idea what they're doing in terms of their recruitment. Tottenham themselves, they know they want money. And one thing that pays money at Tottenham is watching good football. Hence why obviously Thomas Frank got sacked, because he wasn't playing good football. He was thinking it out every week. However, the stadium was obviously full when Ange was there because he was playing attractive football. But yeah, you could tell, even just by his comments, that club is an absolute mess. But I'm going to end it here. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we win tonight. I can't, not have us not winning, because Man City are currently 3 points behind us, I'm pretty sure, as it stands. Say we're currently 3 points behind. Yeah. And if we don't win, that's going to be long, because we still got to play with the Etihad, so we better fucking win. I'm going to go Brentfod 0, Arsenal 2. Come on, Arsenal. Don't let us down, please. Anyway, that is it from me. I'll see you guys in the bits. Possibly tomorrow for the match reaction. In a bit.